Aloha. So thank you very much for having me here. I'm really honored and excited about being part of this great conference, but I want to start with a quick disclaimer that when preparing for this, I was asked to make it a very personal story. And as you undoubtedly can hear, I'm from Germany, and that's a very weird thing to ask of a German. So I'll do it anyway. It's the first time. Bear with me. We might all become very intimate friends in the next 10 minutes, and we'll take it from there. So I strongly believe that the vast majority of people are very willing to do the right thing if given the chance and nudged and guided a little bit. I think that's especially true when it comes to preserving and saving the planet for future generations, or more specifically, our kids. It's a big win. There's much to take, and when you look at what sort of the big items are that people can kind of focus on, you very quickly arrive at energy efficiency being a key driver, right? The idea that if we can reduce the amount of energy that the things in our homes consume, then getting into a 100% sustainability scenario is so much easier because you need to cover less consumption. And it would be a really, really exciting experiment to figure out how to engage the large sort of consumer markets that are buying, in the US alone, about 300 million appliances every year. If you add lighting to it, you have about 1 billion purchases in the US alone every year of things that consume energy. So when you think about energy efficiency, the big win is not necessarily, if you adjust your devices and clean your refrigerator coils, that's all important and good to do. But the big wins here is that if you can influence these hundreds of millions of new product purchases that happen all the time and move the needle on those purchases to be more energy efficient models and variations, that's where the big gains for all of us would come from. Because with every single purchase that you influence, you reap years of energy savings without anyone having to do anything else, right? So if you buy a very efficient refrigerator tomorrow and it's in your home running for 10 years, you save 10 years of energy from that one-time decision you need to do in a better way. How would you get there? You had to first analyze the entire product market in real time to figure out which of the 2,400 refrigerators available in the US at every single day are the most efficient models. And then you need to figure out how do you get this information presented to people at the moment they need to make these purchase decisions. Today, this means that has to happen online. We all prepare these purchase decisions on the computer, on your mobile phones and tablets before we actually go to a point of sale to make a purchase. So you have to get this information there. You have to make it easy and attractive. You have to engage people. And maybe a good way to do this would be to have a simple number, right? So if every product in the market had a 0 to 100 number, so as a consumer, all you would need to understand, if I buy the refrigerator that is closest to 100, I buy the product that will reduce my energy bill the most, and I will make the best decision for the planet. That would be a really easy way to do it. Would be a huge endeavor. Who would be crazy enough to do this? Let me introduce you, and which gets us to the awkward part. I was born in the late 60s in rural Germany in a really tiny village, 300 people, no paved roads. Almost died of boredom, but then in the 70s, somebody invented the early idea of a home computer, 8-bit computing, sort of opened the gates for me out of isolation in Germany. And sort of about a decade later, you would find me in Steve Jobs' boardroom at Next Computer in Redwood City, signing a partnership agreement to port our software that the little company that I started in Germany had developed to his new operating system, Next Step, to compete with Adobe's Photoshop. For sort of the high of the world, I was in my early 20s, couldn't get any better. I got back home to get the team working on this, and almost instantly this happened. Actually, what happened is the second after this picture, which is really not conference material. It put me on my back for about 6 months in a hospital. I had plenty of time to look at the ceiling and think about things. And then when I got out of this, I had about another year on one leg on crutches, which on that one-legged journey, moved back to California and worked in tech consulting and advertising and publishing, trying to help companies get into the digital age of electronic publishing and then the early steps of the internet. Then something happened that is a bit of a jump. This is actually a picture from Hawaii, Maui, and we had this idea when we worked in California at the time, and between consulting jobs had a lot of spare time, that it would be nice to have a home in paradise. So we leased a home in Haiku, North Shore, Maui, you might know, and the original idea was just to go there between jobs, take the red-eye back to California when work called again, and we did this for a while. And while we were in Hawaii, the state contacted us at one time, and they had this fantastic idea saying, if all these things are true about what people are saying about e-commerce and the internet becoming this really big thing, this is a big thing for Hawaii because it could potentially help with geographical isolation. People could move here, produce digital things like 3D movies, and ship the goods digitally back over the internet and sell it on the mainland, and it would be a fantastic economy. And in order to build this, the Maui Research and Technology Center was thought of and then physically built. And I was lucky enough for 2 years to be part of this in the early technology and marketing planning of the project. Life, again, was really, really good, but I wasn't ready to stay on Maui and went back to Germany, started one of the big and fast-growing digital marketing agencies, introduced Amazon to the European markets when they were just selling books, and then got into CDs, who remembers? And then, fast forward 10 years, I'm at the sort of, I guess, in advertising worlds where everybody wants to be. My company got acquired. I became part of Ogilvy, one of the most prestigious advertising groups in the world, led their digital media operations globally out of New York, had a team of 900 people in 30 markets, and was working for some of the biggest brands in the world. Life was fabulous and very uncomplicated. And then this happens. She's much prettier now. Her name is Mila. She will be 8 next month. And advertising suddenly for me didn't do it anymore. It's like I felt like with all the things that I had tried out, there must be something where you can make a bigger impact than with sort of your normal advertising activities. And that gets us back to where my little talk started, the idea of starting a company that would rate products by energy efficiency and affect markets at scale so we can all easily find the most energy efficient products. That company is Energy. It's now 7, almost 8 years old, started in California and Los Angeles. Today, we're working with the largest and most innovative utilities in the US and in Europe, covering about 50 million households. We are affecting millions of purchase decisions through utility-branded marketplaces, guiding people who need to buy appliances, electronics, lighting, to find very easily the products with the greatest energy efficiency, the best savings, best user reviews, the lowest prices in the market. So all the things that you expect today to happen from a marketplace. And all the heavy lifting on the platform is done by this little number, the Energy score or energy score. It's a 0 to 100 rating. The higher the number is, the more energy efficient the product is. It updates daily, 4 million products analyzed every night. And so if you buy a fridge that has a 100 today, you can be certain there is no better thing to buy today, and it will give you great energy savings over the next 10 years. It's a really big step. The next thing for us to happen then is to go into the comparison to the old things you have at home, right? Because for most people to consider a new purchase, you want to understand what your net saving scenario is. So if I replace my fridge and my dishwasher, what is the impact on my bill? And with all the developments in smart home and smart meters and the ability to disaggregate the consumption data that is in your home, we can actually make real product level decisions and saying, if you replace this old freezer in your garage with this specific model, you'll break even on the purchase price within 3.2 years, and then you get another 8 years of net savings on your bill, which then, we heard about financing earlier, opens up into the opportunity of getting into financing on the bill. Later this year, we start Autovi, same idea, score across cars, normalizing fuel types between gasoline and electric and hybrid and hydrogen. So we take your local cost, you put in your consumption, all the cars get ranked by what's best for your wallet and what's best for the planet with all kinds of additional features to it. So what's the opportunity for Hawaii? So if you just take 25% of households, and you would be able to move the appliances and the devices in their homes to a score of 90 plus in current products, that would equal about 100 million on current rates in incremental energy savings. There's obviously another big play here is like if you reduce the in-home consumptions in the home so dramatically, the amount of power you need to generate through solar and other sustainable strategies comes down significantly. The investment in the renewables becomes down because you need to cover less base load, and that's part of what we are developing in the market. So that's the quick story. It is actually possible to use a single number to affect people at scale. The utilities are hugely important partners in this because their branded, trusted relationship with the customers is what makes customers consider it. And we will do much more of it and would be excited to rolling this out in Hawaii. Mahalo.